A man who had just been buried was actually playing with his phone inside the coffin. As he scrolled through media coverage of his death, he felt an immense sense of satisfaction. Nick pulled out the bottle he'd prepared in advance and started celebrating right there in the coffin. It turns out Nick was a washed-up actor who had faked his own death just to grab attention, planning to stage a dramatic resurrection. On the day of the funeral, friends and family gathered to mourn the once A-list celebrity. The ceremony concluded smoothly, and after all the guests had left, his agent, the only person in on the scheme, rushed over with a shovel to dig Nick out of the grave, but an accident happened on the way. Looking at his motionless agent on the ground, Nick panicked instantly. The agent was the only one who knew about his fake death. After calming down, Nick considered calling the police, but that would ruin his carefully orchestrated plan. After much deliberation, he abandoned that option and decided to reach out to friends instead. He called his friends and family, but no one believed he was the Nick who had just been buried. Nick completely broke down. Then he suddenly remembered his female assistant and dialed her number. But like everyone else, she thought it was some jerk playing a sick prank. Nick decided to make a video call instead. When the assistant saw Nick in the grave, she was terrified. She thought he'd risen from the dead. After Nick explained everything, the assistant finally believed him. She promised to come to the cemetery immediately to rescue him. Nick breathed a sigh of relief and waited quietly for her arrival. But after waiting for ages, the assistant never showed up. Instead, he received a call from a psychiatric hospital asking if he was the family member of a female mental patient. Apparently, she'd been caught by cemetery security while trying to dig up a grave with a shovel, and after being knocked unconscious, she was sent to the psychiatric hospital. Nick hurried to explain to the staff, but the nurse thought he was mentally ill too and simply hung up. Now filled with despair, Nick hesitated for a long time before deciding to seek help from a reporter. But the reporter didn't believe a word he said, so Nick sent a video of himself trapped in the coffin. Unexpectedly, the reporter sent back a mocking video, saying this deep fake trick was too crude and telling Nick to stop trying to fool people. At this point, Nick was in full panic mode. He tried to break through the coffin with his body, but no matter how hard he struggled, the coffin remained completely intact. How will Nick be saved? What would you do in this situation? Let me know in the comments, folks. Today's film recommendation is Konets Slavy. If you're interested, feel free to search for the original film. Thanks for watching and see you next time.